I am going to give you the 3 key factors in letting go. In letting go, or being mindful, or remaining conscious, or being in the present moment. All of them point to the same thing, which is essentially to recognize that you are not your mind, that thoughts simply arise, and that you do not have control over them. But you are something deeper beyond that which arises in front of you. I believe that these are the 3 things that Eckhart talks about in his books and talks about on YouTube. And these are in my own words. I don't know if he specifically says things in these words, but I want to give you what I believe are the only 3 things that you're ever going to need to know if you want to go deeper, if you want to surrender and let go. Now, the first one can be described in a lot of different ways, and I'm going to give you some of those different ways. But essentially, you are not your ego. And something that we have to understand is that ego and time have to coexist. The ego cannot survive if you surrender time. Now, when I say time, I mean psychological time, the time that says you have to think more about the things that you regret in life, that you need to think more about your childhood wounds, that you need to think more about the things that you want to achieve in the future. That is all ego, and that arises at a psychological time. Eckhart talks about in his book the difference between psychological time and clock time, the time that you need to use on a day-to-day basis if you need to be somewhere at a certain time, if you need to catch a flight, if you need to be to work at a certain time. That is clock time. Then there's psychological time, the time of I need to worry and create more suffering for myself because of things that I have to feel like I need to think about in the past, or things that come up because of things that I did in the past that I was unconscious of and had no control over because I was unconscious. Or thinking about things in the future and how I want to think about all the things I want to achieve, the business that I want to achieve, the marriage that I hope will come someday. When in reality, none of those things are going to come because you're stuck in psychological time. So you have to learn how to let go of the past and the future. Now, another way this can be described is letting go of the highs and lows and recognizing that thoughts just come and go and not attaching to the positive in life or the negative in life, both positive and negative. If you can let go of both of those polarities, then you can simply recognize and accept your life for what it is in this moment. Now, the other number 2 is going to be remaining conscious with your triggers. Your triggers are super important when it comes to remaining conscious, because if you react on your triggers, you're right back in ego. The ego is whenever we're resisting what is, that is ego. So you have to recognize where your triggers come from, or even recognize when you know you're going to be triggered. For example, I know that every time I talk to my ex-husband, I'm going to be triggered. It is just a fact. We have a lot of history, and we've had a lot of ups and downs, and I'm not going to say that some of it's not my own doing or my conscious level with him, but there you go. That is practicing. Okay, I know every time I talk to my ex-husband, he's going to say something that's going to trigger me. Now, I don't have control over how he acts, but I have control over how I respond to how he acts. So anytime I engage in a conversation with him, I'm going to know to observe and recognize whenever that emotion is starting to bubble up, is starting to arise. And I'm going to recognize it and let it come and pass. And when you do this, you not only deepen your awareness, but you dissolve the ego even more because you're not attached to whatever your mind is saying about a situation. You are creating some distance between your mind, your thinking mind, and your emotions. And when you do this and learn to manage your triggers, things bother you less and less the more time goes on. So practice with little moments like that. Maybe practice with, people that are going to be difficult in your life, or when you're stuck in traffic, or when you go to the grocery store and you have to wait in line. Those little moments are going to help you so that when something major happens, like your car breaks down, you lose all your money, you get divorced, you lose your house, everything falls apart, it's not going to matter as much because you are detached from this world a little bit more. See, that's the thing you have to recognize is you are a soul inside a human body. You are of this world, but you are not this world. You are in this world, but you are not of this world. You are observing this world through the lens of the eyes behind your eyes. You are observing this through the awareness that observes the thought, the awareness of your 3D reality. Remember that. Remember each and every day that things come and go, things are always in motion, things always happen, but you are not the things that are happening in your life. And the last one, as simple as it is to simply make the choice. You have to make the choice to be in the present moment. It is every second of every waking day that you get up, from the moment that you get up to the moment that you go to bed. If you are brushing your teeth, you're watching yourself in this moment brushing your teeth. You're not thinking about what's going to happen at work in 10 minutes. You're not thinking about what happened 20,000 years ago. You're just in this moment brushing your teeth. If you are walking to the car, you are watching every step as you walk to the car. You're listening to the birds chirp outside. You are making the choice to do something else other than think. You are choosing to be, and that is the goal. So I know that a lot of these things are really, really simple, but we forget about them over time, especially the longer that we've been on this journey. So whether you just started on this journey or you're just starting to learn these things, or you've been on this journey a while and maybe you've forgotten these things, I'm here to help remind you how to remain conscious. Okay. All right. Well, if you did like my video, then just give me a like. I would appreciate it. And also, if you like this content, I have made other videos like this. I will put some pinned right here, maybe right here, up here. I'm not sure. We'll find out. And that's all I got. Peace, one love. Bye.